So welcome. This is the Jim Crow Museum of Racist Memorabilia project on the animation projects that we're working on 5 people that have achieved despite resistance. And today with us, we have Serita Crowley, our voice actress that did many of the voices. And we're going to talk with her about what that experience was like. So Serita, we're so happy that you're with us, and the work that you did is super powerful once we put it into the animation. So we're excited to show you that.
Okay.
You know what I'd like to do is just go ahead and play one of the animations so you can hear your voice in it.
Okay.
I'm going to share my screen. Now keep in mind that Zoom compresses the voice a lot.
Okay.
And so the sound quality won't be terrific. Can you guys see my screen right now?
Yeah. Got
Okay.
little notes on there.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm keeping it a little bit small because I have found that works with more internet connections, without stalling.
So
okay.
This is the Leontine Price animation.
All right, here we go.
Bill, you need to share your sound.
Yes, I do.
Stop. This always happens on Zoom. There's one button that we always have to push, and we always forget it.
Yeah.
So.
All right, thank you for your patience. All right, start this over.
One of the things about this extraordinary instrument that I
Is that loud
have
enough?
is the blackness in it, the natural flavor.
Does it need to be louder?
Turn
it up a bit.
Okay.
Crank it for the old men.
One of the things about this extraordinary instrument that I have is the blackness in it, the natural flavor. It's something extra, exclaimed Leontine Price. At age 9, she was inspired by a virtuoso black singer, Marian Anderson, who could only play in segregated halls.
It's hard to hear from this colored balcony up here.
Leontine went to the Juilliard School of Music in New York City. Price's student performances, including a premiere of Hermit Songs, led to her big break in 1955.
How did that colored girl get in here?
The NBC Live Opera Theater series chose Price to sing in Puccini's Tosca. She was the first black artist to appear in an opera on TV, but NBC affiliates in 11 cities in the South refused to show a program featuring a black Tosca and her white lover.
Nope, we're not going to air this.
Price noted, "It was a breakthrough for me, but my state didn't carry it." That was not the first, nor the last, racially motivated roadblock for Price. But eventually, due to her perseverance, in 1966, her performance of Antony and Cleopatra at the Met's new Opera House premiere was broadcast in her hometown, Laurel, Mississippi. From 1960 to 1980, she sang down the color barrier and helped to pave the way for black performers to achieve equal status as their white counterparts.
Her many awards include the Presidential Medal of Freedom, 19 Grammys, and 3 Emmys.
All right.
Oh,
Yay!
Hey!
you guys got me tearing up.
Yeah, that
I'm just so
congratulations
proud of
to
everyone. That's just beautiful stuff.
to the Leontine Price team for having that all in there for us to look at today. We had Susan do some voice at the end there because I think we forgot to put that in the script for you to read.
I was like, that ain't me.
No, I know it. We might need to put a little reverb or something on that to make it sound like it's some kind of a different environment or something, like an announcer on a stage or something. Yeah.
Okay.
All of a sudden it's like, what's that? Yeah. Okay, so
So congrats to the
I'll stop
Leontine
sharing.
Price team. That was fantastic. And so,
Yeah.
Sarita, what did you think about seeing your work in the animation?
Sounds good. I'm excited. I thought it was a pretty cool little thing, and to know it's my voice. So yeah, that's great.
I think
So
it's
it will appear. They have like a virtual tour, so people from all over the world can visit, and it's like 3D, and you go through the space, and you click these little dots, and then the video pops up. So you'll be in the virtual tour, and then they also will put these on their own YouTube channel, and teachers from all over the country, all over the world, will use this media to talk about the Jim Crow era and those who have rose, in this case, rose above all the obstacles put in their way during that era. So
Okay.
I got a couple some questions for you. First of all, can you tell everyone a little bit about yourself?
Well, as some may or may not know, I am the life partner of John Hayes, who works for y'all.
Our
And
fans.
I've known Mr. Dollar for quite a while. He's done some engineering for us for our music because I'm a singer. I've done lots of plays and musicals and actually voiceovers in a lot of that. So I had a lot of character roles. I love to cook. I love to bake. I love to eat. I'm an artist. I paint. I don't know, maybe I could probably show you here. I'll see if I can move this move the computer. I don't want to touch nothing because you know John will have a cow.
he's got all his toys set up there.
Can
Oh
you
yeah, coach that one.
Can you see
Oh
that?
wow! Yeah,
Oh,
look
wow.
at that.
It's 4 by 6 feet or something, and it's on Masonite. That was an art prize, and I mean I also have several other ones. I'm going to show one more.
I have a small version of that one in my house. If you guys could see it, it's like the size of the entire wall. Oh, this one's beautiful too.
And there's one. I do a lot of work for the Be Nice program for the Mental Health Foundation.
Oh, we love the Be Nice program.
Yep, I've got a
Great.
piece in there right now. They're actually doing it virtual now because of the pandemic.
Right.
But I do have a piece in that, and they're going on with it right now. So that's pretty good. I'm from a family of 10. I have a twin brother.
Uh-huh.
I got a twin too.
Yeah, in there, same mom, same dad, 5 girls, 5 boys.
It's a house.
You know, grew up on a farm. I mean, what else do you guys want to know? I like fishing.
Oh, that's
Where
perfect.
did you grow up, Sarita?
I grew up in Ravenna, Michigan.
Michigan. Okay.
Yeah, very, very small. Like
Yeah.
it's between Muskegon and Coopersville. So if you blink, you'll miss it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've been through there. Yeah, yeah.
We had cows, pigs, chickens, all the animals on the farm.
Yeah,
Big garden, fields of vegetables. So
it's beautiful around there.
yeah.
Hilly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you? Okay, so when you gonna do? Well, thanks for that. By the way,
You're welcome.
I feel like I live a very boring life now. So when you're preparing for a voiceover session, what do you do? What kind of preparations do you make?
Well, first of all, I read what's expected of me, and I do a little rehearsal in several different voices to make sure one is fitting for the role. Basically just kind of study what you're doing and read, do your homework beforehand to find out a little bit more about what you're doing and the subject matter. So.
Yeah. What was the setup like with the mic in the room, and where was the script? Like, what was all that? what did all that look like? You did it in your home there, right? This time?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
Right in our living room. We'll sometimes do rehearsals and create music, write music and scripts and different things. Right here, I do everything in my home, you know. We'll set up things as needed. We do have a lot of equipment that we've invested in over the years, so we can do that. You know, sometimes we have to borrow some things, but you know.
Yeah.
But,
So you're working with a printed script on a piece of paper and reading it off that, or?
Sometimes, but I have that handy dandy the little iPad.
Oh, yes.
So, and I put on my reader so I can see. Yeah, I just prepare basically how I do for any show that I'm doing, whether it's a musical, a play, or singing or script reading. Yep. So basically the same thing, get me some tea and, you know, have water handy and go for what I know.
So
Yeah,
Mike, were you able to, did you have to bring anything over there, or did they already have all of the equipment?
Yeah, I brought just a few items over, like when I doing remote like that, a smaller one. We've also done her band remote from there, which is a bit more involved equipment wise. But when I'm doing a voiceover like that, and anything where I'm going to get talent, right? You don't want to make it overly complex, because you don't want to roll in there and then do lots of and ums as the talent sits there and is like, are we ready? It just doesn't inspire confidence if you make it too complex, even for yourself. So the old KISS method, as they say, right? Keep it simple. So we just had like a small, high quality, but high quality is important. You can't always get the talent again. So you want to bring the best stuff you can. We were using a U87 microphone, sound devices, interface, and then recording right into Audition. So very Spartan setup, but very high quality. And I know the environment I'm going into isn't a recording studio. I knew we were going to do it in their living room, per se. It's an older house. I know the floors. I know the ceiling. It's a pretty bright room. So I knew I was going to have to record in cardioid mode to try to reduce the room reflection. And I did bring a microphone reflector, because one of the things that I always say, getting a voice into the microphone is like a race, right? When you have the microphone here, it's a race. Who's going to get to the mic first? The bouncing off the wall sound or the direct sound? So in order for you to try to win that race, you got to try to calm the reflections off the walls. So we have a screen, if you will. It almost looks like a piece of foam on plastic, and it's wrapping around the microphone so it doesn't reflect off the walls and the ceiling and come back. And then it doesn't sound like she's in a bathroom or something like that, an echoey, bright room. So also knowing the talent, how close you have it on the microphone is very important. Again, as you start backing off that mic in an echoey room, you don't think about these things. You're like, oh, I see the green going on the meter. We're good. And then you listen to it and it sounds like a hollow. What happened? It's the reflections. So we had to take care of that quite a bit. And then even as we're working, John with his super hearing is sitting there with us. And he's like, do you hear something? And I'm like, yes, I hear something. And so we'd have to go in and shut off the dryer in the other room, or the fridge kick on, or we're sitting there and he's like, oh yeah, man, do you hear the heater? And I'm like, I hear the heater. So he's shutting the heat off. And my students think it's kind of like crazy or extreme when I'm telling them, like, even on all the voiceovers I did for our epic stuff, I shut the heat off in the house.
So sometimes the talent is freezing. Is that what you, yeah.
And it's like, oh God, it's like 63 in the house. And I'm like, because the studio is warm with all the lights and it's all downstairs in my house there. But there's a lot of it to think about beyond, I'm going to show up and put the mic in front of this person. You think about the environment. You make sure the talent is ready and their mind is in the right place. And you, as the producer engineer, have a big role in making sure it appears smooth and calm. You don't want to show up all flustered or this or, you want to be calm. You want to be professional and have things thought of ahead of time. Like when I go on remote gigs, I bring 2 of everything. I bring 2 mic stands. I have a backup microphone, backup mic cables, everything. Because I've been out long enough doing location recordings that you'll just have a mic stand that starts drooping, or you forget the USB cable, or the one you brought doesn't work. Had that happen right in the middle of the session. So if you're a pro and you plan on doing your voiceover ahead of time, you have extra stuff, on hand, and you can just go, oh yeah, cables go bad. I got it, no problem. Versus, ooh, the cable's not working. Do you have another day you could work? And you just lost.
Yeah, because you only have one Serita.
You got it.
You got
And
one Serita.
you're asking people to do that kind of thing for you and scheduling it in a pandemic. You want to make sure you have your, stuff, your ducks in a row, so to speak, when you're working with the talent.
Okay. So Serita, what is like some of the more challenging parts of doing this?
Just basically getting the tone or the correctness of what you want to give to the audience and what you want the audience to perceive. But at the same time, it's a lot like preparing for an acting role or something like that. It's you have to always be prepared. And people say improvisation, because once that light's on you, that's it. There you go for what you know. You don't get a do-over. I mean, you could start over, but that would kind of ruin it. But just
so when you do the different takes, do you try different inflections?
Right before I do it in my head, and then I do it out loud too, just to see what it sounds like. But generally, I always go back to me. I just do what I just do what's natural.
Oh, that's why we came to you, because we wanted you to be honest with you. We've heard you before, and thought of you right away. You remember you did the one for a student of mine about a year ago with the recycling truck driver.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I love that. Gosh, I just fell in love with your voice on that one right away, and thought, man, that's awesome. So what is your favorite? What do you enjoy about doing voiceover work? What's cool about it?
That you can actually bring something or someone to life, and you can actually, if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and it is successful, then just the satisfaction of knowing that you could bring a character to life, and kind of get people to feel what that person really was like.
Yeah. So we'll put it out to the students now. Do you any of you have a question for Serita? If you want to put it in the chat, you can do that.
I have one if nobody else has one. I want to ask mine first. Okay, here we go. Serita, what is it like? And I always find this challenging when working with voice artists, and I would like your opinion on this. What is it like having to do a bunch of different takes when you think you just nailed it, right? You're like, oh, I just gave them exactly what they want. And then the producer says, nah, could you make it more? That's hard on our egos. We just threw ourselves out there. I gave you my voice acting, and the engineer goes, nah, could you do it more? How do you deal with that, with one's ego and your self-esteem being told like, no, give it more oomph or give it calmer? Or I always find that interesting psychologically. How do you deal with somebody telling you, no, calmer, more this, more that? How do you deal with that?
Well, if it's John, no, I'm kidding. just tune him out. No, I'm kidding. Well, when I was younger, when I was just starting to sing and stuff, you know, everybody's ego is pretty fragile. You know, when you think like, oh yeah, I got this, and
Right.
and you're knocked down to be like, no, you don't got this. You know.
Right. That's what's.
I've learned to just, you know what, you gotta give the people what they want. It's not about, you gotta put yourself, especially for like singers and people doing both voiceover work, you gotta put yourself in the place of what it is that you're there to do, and you just gotta do it. You gotta find
So
it.
good at that. You take direction so well. You can just turn on a dime without getting wounded or us feeling like, oh, did I ask too much? You're just very professional, and you just click over to the next thing. And some people can't do that.
Yeah, I know. I was, you know, very shy growing up, and you know, like I started out singing in the church, and I would never like sing. I would mumble because all of the pastors' daughters, and you know, they'd all tease me, and you know, nothing was ever good enough for these girls. And you know, I'm sure everybody's been in this sort of bullying situation before. And one day we had a revival. I don't know if they have those anymore, where they used to have the good old tent revivals. And you know, you go to church service. I used to go to those with my mom, and our choir was to show up with a bunch of other choirs. 4 people showed up out of 30 people. I was the 4th person. And it was not good. And so I kind of sleeped down in my chair, and my mom was like, get up there. I was like, I don't want to go. And so I got up there, and the music started, and we're doing our little thing. And I don't know what came over me, but it was as if a volcano erupted, because everybody was failing really bad. We were failing. And I just started singing. And I think I scared everybody. I think they kind of stopped the music, and they were like, we didn't know you could sing. I was like, oh, nobody ever asked me. And so
Well, it sounds like you were revived there at under the tent.
Yeah, so you gotta do what you gotta do. When you're put in those situations, you gotta think that, you know what, you're there to do a job, and you gotta do it. You gotta give them what they want.
Right.
So.
Oh,
There's a
that's
couple of
very nice.
questions here from the students. I'll ask this one for Kaylin. How did you get started in your voice work, Serita?
Probably I went to Muskegon Community College, and I took various art classes there, and then I got into theater. So I started doing things like that through them. I wasn't even trying to be in theater. I was asked to take a message to my teacher's Dropbox, and it was dark. Nobody was there. The halls were dark, and I didn't think anybody was there. So I was singing that song, ease on down the road, because it was a long hallway and nobody was there. So I was singing it, and this lady comes running out of the office, and I was like kind of scared. And she said, we're doing auditions for Hair of all musicals. And she's like, you have to sign up. And from there, I did lots of voiceovers I was in Truman Capote. I was the voice operator, and I had various other parts in that, and it just kind of evolved from that. So, yeah.
What a story. Thank you so much for your answer, says Kaylin. So also coming from Zach Knoll, what's your favorite way or place to perform between singing, musicals, and voice acting and stuff? So what's your favorite method of performing and way or place to perform?
I don't know. I like funny, quirky things, but I can do serious things too. I don't know. I just versus me singing around the house and my brothers telling my mom and dad to, Mama, tell Rita to shut up because they're sick of me singing everywhere, in the shower, in the kitchen, just whatever. It's kind of refreshing that people actually want to hear it. So, so I was happy about that. I really like doing, I like voiceovers. I like singing. I don't know. I just like performing. So it's what I do. I figure it's something I can do and, people like it. So, and until someone says, yeah, don't do that anymore, then I'm just going to keep going. So.
Well, the work that you did for us is so powerful, and it really brings a specialness to it. So you did the voice narration for Garrett Morgan, for Leontine Price, and for the Harlem Hellfighters. Did you know of these people before you started doing these narrations?
I've heard a few of the names, but I not necessarily just dove into it,
Yeah, it's an eye-opening experience for all of us as we worked on these projects, right? Yeah. So Kaylin has another question.
Okay.
Would you recommend acting classes for people who would want to get into voiceover work or voice acting?
Yes. You can get such good insight and experience. You have to do it for yourself. Whenever you're doing anything like that, it's always good to start out with some acting, because that kind of either it makes you feel, is this the right road? So once you've experienced that and you get the actual feel of hands-on, and you'll know from there if it's for you or not. So yeah.
Okay, there's another question. Students, you're welcome to just jump in also. This question comes in from Sean Margot from the sound design class.
Okay.
Do you find slipping into a character role that you're no longer shy, but able to explore things you normally wouldn't in real life?
Yeah, if you work at it and practice, if you put yourself in that position and become that character, that helps. Yeah.
Right. Wow.
I'm on
You
the
did
machine.
Yeah.
Practice it. Yes, as she said, practice it. Yeah. She puts a lot of work in.
You did talk about being shy earlier in your life, right, Serita? So
Yeah.
it was that revival tent moment for you where you found you needed to jump in and perform, huh?
I did. I don't know. As they say, I guess the spirit hit me, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened, but it just came out. So yeah. It depends on the person and what you want and what you want, and you're gonna get it, whatever it is. If you want to be a chef, you get in there and you keep failing until you make it. Or you want to be a lawyer, you get in there and practice. It's with anything, so
Wow. All right.
What I'm always amazed by is I firmly believe you're the most talented voice I've recorded in my 30 years of studio recording. And what's amazing about her is that she could be like, sipping tea sitting there on the couch, and within 2 seconds just go snap and just be bam on stage ready. I mean, We've done studio work at 2 a.m, 3 a.m. You're laying on the couch there, and we're like, "All right, it's your turn to get up." And she's like, "What?" Ah. And I have to say, in the few records I've done with her, my friends in my studio classes know we do a lot of what's known as compositing. We have takes after take after take after take, and we assemble them together. I'll have you know, on Serita's records, I don't believe there was one song out of either of those records, not one, that was a composite. These are whole takes we're using. And very often, like I said, she'll be sitting there 1 minute, sipping tea. Are you ready? And not only does she deliver a take, it's a keeper. And this is for someone who's like, yeah, let's get 30 takes and slice them together. It's just different versions of, which one do you want to choose? So it's kind of cool. You guys really should check out their stuff. They have a couple hot records out, and just know those are not composited takes. Those are one take beauties. She got up, and it's one of the only artists I've ever worked with. Maybe you and Ken Henderson, about it. That could do one take like that. Beautiful.
What's the name of the band?
Sarita's Black Rose.
Oh, that's right. Sarita Black Rose. Thank you.
And Serita,
I went to your website. I didn't know that. I guess I didn't realize that was also the name of the group, Serita Black Rose. Okay.
What is a Black Rose, Serita? Is that like a party?
Okay. Sometimes at my shows, I have told the story. If anybody knows where I got my name from, I'll give you the CD signed. I know all the students are listening like, yeah, we're going to listen. Okay, so I fell asleep one day on the couch, and I woke up. It was probably like 3, 4 in the morning, and PBS was on. And I woke up to a blues series, and they were talking about how different types of Delta blues, different blues came to be, and they had the different artists and all that. And they said, we used to throw these juke joint parties or dances, and we called them Black Roses. I was like, oh, that's my name. I'm Black Rose, because that's what I felt like. So I'm like, that's what it is. And I attached it to my name. And I mean, because you can look up Black Rose, and there'll be a million Black Rose this and Black Rose that, but there's only one Sarita's Black Rose. So. Right. So that's how I got it.
And it's being more of a party, a celebration, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know when I first heard of it, I'm like, "Ooh, is it dark?" And the tear in the eye and Black Rose. But it's like the opposite. It's yeah. I thought that was cool.
Yep.
Well, I put the link in the chat, and you got a beautiful, fantastic website. So I'd encourage everybody to go there and check that out.
So Serita, you are a self-professed funketeer. Can you tell us what that means to you?
I love all kinds of music. I mean, it could go from blues, rock, soul, to classical, to jazz. But I don't know, something about that funk just makes you move, So I'm a funketeer,
You guys are working on a new song. I Try Hard. Yes. Kind of getting a little more bluesy with your new stuff, huh?
Yeah. Thanks for telling everybody, Mike. We're trying to do a more blues-oriented album. And that's, we're on the fence of making it separate from Sarita's Black Rose. I mean, but we're keeping Sarita's Black. That's not going anywhere. But yeah, just a lot more blues. So I hope everybody dig it. Mm-hmm. So that's from my daddy's side.
Right. Well, we should probably start to wrap it up. I don't see any more questions, I think. So thanks for joining us. It's such a treat to be able to meet you and
thank you.
To hear your stories. I think we need to make like a short film about you or something. You're so interesting. really appreciate your commitment, to the cause, and I know the students have really thrown themselves into it, and this is going to touch thousands of people,
Yeah.
and let
Black
them know about these
history
folks.
is
Yeah.
it's really a lot unexplored, and I'm glad that you all are doing this, just so people can learn a little more about the culture, because there's a lot more to it than what is just
Yeah.
out there.
We got to rewind our revisionist history a little bit.
Yeah. Yep, everything's not so pretty all the time or great,
Yeah.
but it's knowledge and it's power.
Yeah, well said. Thank you so much. And you have the great rest of your day. And we will be sure to thank John for all the help that he's given us. He's like one of our angels at Kendall. Honestly, you can share that with him. He does so many sort of undercover things to help us out all the time to get things done.
Absolutely, he does.
He's just he's a real gem. Yeah. So, all right. We'll see
Thank
ya.
you so much, Serita.
You're welcome.
Rita.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.